a direct neural interface to electronics turns out to be difficult and not that rewarding compared to lots and lots of feedback mechanisms, especially with neural imaging. At one point I kind of like hypothesized that it would be interesting as we get better at kind of imaging what conscious recognition looks like. Because we're getting to where we can kind of like put someone in an fMRI, show them pictures of things. You can tell things about what they're thinking from those pictures. That it might make more sense if we were doing a brain-computer interface to have something that looked, say, for, say you wanted your perfect user interface, and something that showed you widgets, and when you registered comprehension on those widgets, would select those. So as it showed you things, it would select the perfect user interface with you without ever having to pierce your skull to do it. Because we basically can pierce your skull with imaging technology, and imaging technology is moving much faster than wetware interfaces. So.
Okay. I wouldn't propose any wacky device under the skin, but I would propose if anyone wants to do things, the easy way to move the boundaries is to use context of art. So for many illegal activities, it's much easier if you say that it's a conceptual art or whatever. So it's good for hacking, so it's good for any kind of hacking.
That's definitely, that's definitely more true over here, and I encourage you all to do it.
Yeah, and you probably heard of Stellark from Australia. He got the third ear growing on his face, and that was in awesome. In context of art. So that's the easier way to do.
And the people that practice this in the U.S. that I follow define themselves as artists to stay outside of medical legal requirements. So that's definitely a reoccurrent theme, and I fully support it. You know, I don't draw a big distinction between art and other worthwhile pursuits. So.
With regards to the question of what counts as human, you said it was mostly a very individual thing that everyone had to decide for himself. But I think it's more of a problem of society versus the individual. I
didn't actually say everyone has to decide for themselves. If I did, that was unclear. I was saying that everybody has their own line where they'll think, no, that's too much. And we do have to solve it as a society. But everybody's going to say, no, my line is the perfect one for society, and everybody's line is different.
Well,
so this is a difficult problem.
More than actually what I was going to say. Because for my part, I don't think the question of what counts as human is really the important question. Because when what being human changes all the time, and when we can be more than what human means right now, why should we keep to this one single description as human? Why am I worth more when I'm a human as officially described by society, as this label is applied to me? Why I'm worth less than something that the society doesn't accept as human?
Well, we have an amazing history of class problems in this species. And if you think about how bad those were when they were about externalities, we're actually going to internalize those class problems if we make a whole bunch of enhancements only available to one group of people. I mean, are white people better than black people? Well, if all the white people get the enhancements, then there's a weird argument they are. And I don't really want to go there. But I don't know how these things break down if we don't consider them on some societal level. You know, I just think this is a powerful, powerful thing, and it can go powerfully wrong if it's locked up with just one group of people or kind of one class issue. Yeah.
Hi, actually a follow-up on the human question. I think it's a little bit reductive to say that by changing our senses or augmenting our senses, we become less or more human. I mean, our senses always change. Our ancestors had 100 times better sense of scent than we do, and we're no less or more humans than that. I think what defines our humanity is our ability to communicate and our desire to communicate, our ability to have compassion, and the rest is just, it comes and goes, and it's not about, oh, now I can sense this better or that better.
There's a lot more than sense involved here. I have a friend who at one point, she's a woman, and she gave herself a testosterone shot to see what it would do to her personality. Well, she changed a lot. So so yeah, there's this point where you go, okay, so she's still human, but what if you give yourself, I don't know, psychosis? What if you want a brain lesion that means you never feel guilty again because you felt too guilty and now you are something else? I don't know. You know, it's not just senses. We're modifying a lot more than that. Okay, so are we...
Yeah, I'm sorry to say we're running out of time. Thank you very much, Quinn
Thank you
Norton.
very much.